Hey, so today I'm going to show you my rock collection. So I keep most of my rocks in here. So I'm going to show you each drawer as well as some of the other rocks that I have scattered throughout my room. I'm going to go ahead and move this to my crafting table so it's easier for me to pull things out and everything. All my finished rocks that I've painted are up here. These are rocks that I want to paint or I've started painting and I just stuck them in there, and then this is just like rocks that I think are pretty or they're fossils or flint or anything like that, so they're kind of organized in that manner. So the top drawer is where we're going to start. So as you can see, I have quite a few painted, so I'm going to pull them out one at a time and show them to you. So this is one of my older rocks that I painted years ago, and it's a St. Bernard dog, and so I do paint all of mine, and then I put like a top coat nail polish on them to make them shiny. And normally I only paint like one side of them. Some of them I have painted both sides, but there is a St. Bernard. Here is another old one. I did this many years ago and it's a razorback. So I thought this one looked like a couch, and so I just painted it gray, kept it simple, and then I had a smaller rock that I made into a pillow. Here is Midnight Meow that I painted on a rock. Nail polish did make this one look a lot darker. So some of these I have made videos on my channel already of. And so here's a Dalmatian dog. Here's another dog. Here is a butterfly. Here is another butterfly. This is a cat's paw. So most of these rocks actually do come from the creek that's behind my parents' house. This is a banana. This is a cupcake. This is a little chicken hatching from an egg. This is a tiny little cookie. This is a watermelon. This is a sand dollar. So I also made a video of this and it's on my channel. So here is a Nike shoe based on my actual shoe that I can wear in real life. So it's an actual Nike shoe that I based it on. This is one of my favorite rocks that I've ever painted. And I think the butterflies are also some of my favorite ones. Here is another Nike shoe. I made up the coloring on this one so it's not based on a real shoe. This one is also based on a shoe of mine. It's just kind of plain, but it's cute. Here is another watermelon. It's a slice of watermelon. This one is a stocking, and sometimes the top coat does weird things to white. So like this was white and it kind of made it turn orange a little bit, but it's still okay. Still like it. Here is a goose. This one's kind of goofy and weird looking, but this is a shark. This is a hen. A piece of pizza. These two are both little frog heads. I have this little bitty car. I have two more frogs. I have a ladybug. This is an Arkansas shaped rock. And I have a rainbow. So this is everything from the top drawer. I am working on some other rocks and I have plenty of ideas, so in the future I will be adding more to this drawer. So I'm very excited about that. And like I said, I think this rock is my favorite one out of the whole group. And then I really do like these two butterflies. I kind of think that this one right here is my favorite, just the colors and the way it turned out. But I think this one's very, very nice as well. The second drawer just has rocks that I'm going to paint. So I just put rocks that I find at the creek that I want to paint. So I saw a butterfly in this one, and so I want it to end up looking like that one. It has the same kind of shape. And then I just have this whole thing full of other types of rocks that I found that look like things. Like that one right there reminds me of an animal. This one over here reminds me of a bear. And I just have different things in there. So these will all be painted someday in the future. I'm not going to pull out all those rocks and show you my plans for them. I'm just going to move on. So this next drawer has like my collections basically. So I have my heart-shaped rocks. So every time I find a rock that looks like a heart, I stick it in here. I have some rocks that I think are just pretty. And let me move the light so you can see things better. And I did go ahead on these and add some top coat nail polish just to make them shiny and to make that color pop off. I don't know if the camera's really picking it up or not. So they're all pretty much the same in that one. And then back here I just have some different types of like flint. So, you know, like when the Indians were making arrowheads and tools, this is what broke off. I found some marbles at the creek and other places, and so I just kept them in there. And this one back here, I just have this rock, and I think it has like a face on it. So here's its eyes, and it's smiling. Just thought it was funny, and so I kept it. And then over here are just random rocks. I keep rocks that have holes in them. So like that one right there has a hole that goes all the way through. Here's an actual, I think they call them a hagstone that I found at the creek. This one just has a hole and it just kind of goes in there so you can like fill it with water and it holds it. Same thing with this. I don't know why I keep them. I think they're just interesting. That one has an itty bitty hole. The shape of that one's just kind of weird. So it looks like it has like a peace sign in it. And then this one right here reminds me of a cowboy boot, and that looks kind of like a bear. And then this next one just has fossils in it. So this is my last find. I found it at the creek. And my sister found one just like this, just a few feet away. Not on the same day, but just like a few days apart. And so I thought that was just crazy. And I'm not sure if these are fossils, but the shapes of them are just kind of weird. Especially this one. Like I said, I don't know if they're actual fossils like this is, but I kept them anyway. And then inside here, I have like the itty bitty ones. I'm not going to get them out, but I do have a video where I show you the big awesome one I found, and that's from that set. So if I remember to, I'll link it down below so you can watch that one. This one was just kind of interesting, and so I kept it. I don't know if that's a fossil either. Same with this one. I don't know if you can see it, but it has like this bumpy caterpillar looking shape on it. I'm not sure if that's actually a fossil or just naturally formed, but it was pretty interesting, so I kept it. Now I'm going to show you the rocks I have scattered throughout my room. So I made this a few years ago. I got these rocks that I painted from a river, and so I just painted them green, added some dots and little lines. So next I'm going to show you my rock caves, and so these are the rocks that just have holes in them that are just kind of interesting, and these are mainly formed in the same area that the fossils are found in, so they're just kind of weird. And then I'm going to show you the crystals that I found while I went to a crystal mine next. So I have to be careful so that the plants don't pop off, but here is the first cave. It's an underwater theme cave. So I made a video on this one, so if you go check out my channel, you may find it and see me actually make this. And so as you can see, you can stick your finger in there. It goes in there pretty far. And this is just the way I found it. Well, I actually didn't find this. My dad did, but that's just the way we found it, and I just washed it off and turned them into little pieces of art. I did find this one, and so these are all little buttons you get at Walmart, and I just used Gorilla Glue and glued them in there. And I wanted this one to be different than the others, so I made little Indian symbols with paint all over it. Then this is the first one I ever made, and so you have this little raccoon in there, and it does have a hole that goes all the way through. It does have little bitty fossils on it. The camera doesn't really pick them up. And here is my smallest one. So it has a good sized hole right there, and then a little bitty hole over there. I just think these rocks are just fun because you can do so many things with them. And this one's just a plain one. I didn't add anything to it besides the little animal. And then the other day, my dad found another one. This one is probably the smoothest. It's pretty much a rectangle. I'm not sure how I want to decorate it, but as you can see, like my whole finger fits in there. So those are all the rock caves that I have. I love them. They're kind of weird, but I just love them. And so now I'm going to show you some crystals. So we were down there for about 2 hours. I didn't really record anything, but you ride down on the back of a truck. It takes about 20 minutes or so to get there, and then it's just basically mounds of dirt everywhere that has these crystals on it, and they kind of shimmer in the light like glass would. And they tell you to be careful because you're basically looking for glass and this can cut you. And so you're looking for like the clear ones that have like pointy tips. And so I'm not going to take all of these out, but I will show you the biggest one we found. And I didn't find this, my fiance actually found it. And we found it right as we were fixing to leave, right on top of the ground, which is crazy. Because so many people walk through that area to get off and on the truck that it was so insane that no one actually saw it. Here's a littler one. And so I just have this whole jar pretty much full of them. And I really did enjoy this trip. I definitely recommend if you have the chance to go digging for crystals to definitely take it, because it was a lot of fun. And you definitely find stuff, so that's the best thing about it. Now I'm just going to pick up some of these bigger ones and just kind of show them to you. So I absolutely love the way that they glisten in the light. And we did clean them off with water and a toothbrush, but apparently you're supposed to use some kind of, I think, acid to get them more clean, but I didn't have any of that, and I don't know if I'll even buy that, to be honest. This one's attached to a huge piece of dirt. So So if you can't tell, I love being outside and finding things like rocks and crystals and arrowheads if I can. Okay, so down here in these two, I keep fossils, and so I love them, but I don't want to see these big rocks and stuff all the time, and so they're just kind of tucked away. So in this drawer, I have this big boy. So this is the biggest, best fossil I've ever found, and so when I was at the creek, it was this huge rock. I do have a video on this already, but all I could see was this part, and so we were breaking the rock, and then this whole thing kind of showed itself, and he's pretty big. So I'm not going to take every fossil out of these boxes because I've already shown them on my channel already, so please go check out those. I just want to show you some of my favorite ones, and that one just happened to be one of my favorites. This next drawer also has fossils in it, so I'm not going to show you, like I said, all the fossils. But a few years ago, in 2010, I believe, we went to the Crater of Diamonds, and so I do have a bag of some of the pretty rocks I found there. They're nothing like really fancy or cool. I'm not even sure why I kept some of these, but I did. I think I just liked how smooth they were, maybe. I'm not even sure. This is probably one of my favorites. So the last thing I have is my arrowheads, and so some of these were given to me, and then others we bought at different places, and then these three at the bottom are actually three that I found. So I think I found that one at the river, I found this one digging with my aunt, and then I found this one at my boyfriend's house in his driveway. And so where I live, you can find fossils outside as well as arrowheads, but the fossils are easier to find. And so we live next to a creek, and water naturally runs off the hill, and so there's all sorts of different things you can find, really. Up in the woods there is a Indian tree, is what we call it. It's just right up the hill from my house. So the Indians use that to mark where water was. So I would love to find more arrowheads in the future. I look all the time, but I'm just not very lucky. My sister, on the other hand, finds them all the time. I think she's found probably 15 to 20 of them in her life, and these are the only three I found. But this is definitely my favorite. And so the next few are the ones that were bought. So I went through a stage where I loved arrowheads, and so I got some for Christmas and all of that. I would love to have another case where I could just stick those somewhere else. I may just actually put them in a box and wrap them up or something. That way the ones I find can go in a special place. Because, you know, the ones you buy that are modern made are just not as special in my opinion. And so different ones came from different places. So the ones that are obviously broke, they're actually real. My grandpa gave me that one, and different family members over the years gave them to us. Gave them to me and my sister. And so some of them are actually real. So I think all the ones up here are actually real, to the best of my knowledge. This one I'm not so sure about because, like I said, some of them were real, given to me, some of them were bought, and it just gets kind of mixed up. So that concludes all my rocks and my rock collection. So I will be painting more rocks in the future. I have many ideas. I will continue to look for fossils and even arrowheads, and if I find any, I'll be sure to make videos on them. So please stick around and subscribe and hit that like button to let me know that you enjoyed this. That way I know if this is the type of video I should be making more of. But I upload videos every Sunday. Thank you for watching. Bye!